What's up YouTube, I'm just another guy and welcome back to the Welsh Way here with Aberystwyth Town. So let's jump straight into this midway through the season now. We're going to go into our transfers and have a little look at who we've brought in and out. So the one other guy that I believe we've brought in since you last met me was Ibrahim Farah. Just in case you didn't know, John Stewart come in. Decent centre back, he's our third choice centre back. I wasn't too sure if I've covered him or not, so I'll just go over that quickly. But Ibrahim Farah, the ex-TNS player, has come in. We signed him kind of late on in the season. When was it? October or so? What is the 10th month? Whatever, I can't really think of it right now. But yeah, we managed to sign him pretty late on into the season. And overall, I think this is a great signing and show the club's making great progression through in, our structure of the side, how players view us, view our side. We're a pretty big team now. And the fact that he was released by TNS and ended up coming to us shows that we're now probably considered an equal basis as TNS. If we were a professional side, I reckon we could attract better players than TNS. It's just that semi-pro standard and structure of our team is still, hindering us a little bit. And I can't really change that. I have tried, but it's still not available yet. We're trying to make steps to make that possible now. But anyway, we had 3 amazing seasons at TNS and we've managed to pick him up. He had a pretty good start so far for us. He's sadly spoken out to the press about my team talks, which I'm not too happy with. I don't really like players talking about me in a negative light to the press, and in fact, I don't really like players doing that at all. I like my players to, talk to me first, which he hasn't really done. So I've dropped into the bench right now because of that. I don't really like players, like I say, stepping out, basically, questioning my ability about my team talks and things like that. So despite being a very good player, he's on the fringes right now at the side. But overall, I think that's a good signing in terms of the quality of player. Elsewhere, the outs, we're going to go from Carl Lewis down because I'm not too sure what you guys have seen yet. So Carl Lewis went on loan to Preston, a striker, young striker. Hopefully he'll get first team football there. Sadly, broke his leg, so I know his appearances are going to be very limited at Preston. In fact, he's not made one yet. Carl Hamilton Davis, no relation to the other Hamilton Davis. Young right mid, gone out on loan trying to get some first team football. So far, he's yet to make an appearance and therefore I had to bring him back. And I spoke to the Port Talbot manager and said, hey, you said you're going to play this guy in first team football and I want you to stick by your promise. And he said, well, I can't do that. So I said, all right, I'm going to return your players then because clearly you can't be trusted. And he was like, yeah, whatever. I'm only going to do what I reckon. I'm not going to be persuaded and pressured into this. So basically, I don't like the Port Talbot manager anymore, and every time Port Talbot come in for a loan deal with that guy in charge, I'm not going to accept it. And basically all their players that I've loaned out to them this year, which is Hamilton Davis and Tony Hartnell, have all been returned back to the club because basically I've said, you know what, clearly you can't be trusted to play my players, and clearly you're not the right type of manager to have my players. So, cracks are showing with me and the player managers in the league. I mean, I don't mind loaning players out to people in this league as long as they stick to their promises about the football they're going to play. Then they're happy to stay there. Elsewhere, Gary James went on loan to Kevin Drew, a young centre-back. 2 players are released, Allen and Hughes. This is because they were on non-contracted basis. They spoke out about, lack of first-team football, so I chose to release them. I'd rather have a happy squad than forcing players to stay against their will. We loaned out Charlie Griffiths, a young right-back, on loan. Hopefully he'll get first-team football at Kevin Drew. I believe he's getting quite a few games so far. Not playing at the best of ability, but maybe that's because he's young and it's his first real chance in football. Next guy I'm really frustrated with, it's Day Lewis. Now, this guy I didn't realise he was in my squad, and I didn't realise he was this good until I was just about to start my Premier League season. Now, he's a defence midfielder, and I don't play defence midfielders, so when I go to look through players, I'll show you what I'm talking about right now. When I go to look for players for centre mids, I unselect all these roles, and I only put up centre mids for the whole of this squad like this. Now, really, what I should have been doing was looking at attacking midfielders and defensive midfielders, because I didn't realise this, but he was a very good attacking midfielder for the side. And he had 4-star ability current report, 5-star future report. And so what I did is I realised this, and he was 18 years old, so probably a little too late. I could have probably brought him in the season team last year if I'd have recognised him. So what I did, I was playing him in centre mid. He played 2 appearances for the side in the league. And I was playing him centre midfield, and I was training him up in centre midfield, and then Crystal Palace came in. He was on a non-contract basis at the side, so everything kind of piled up. And in the end, of course, I can't compete with Crystal Palace. I can't try and, I tried offering him a new contract, but, I mean, come on. Are you really going to accept Aberystwyth when you could go to Crystal Palace, a team who I believe is still in the Premier Division? No, they're down in the Championship now. They've been in the Championship for a few years, actually. But, being realistic, I couldn't really keep him against the likes of Palace. They're obviously going to draw him in, and he's on a more of a wage. He wasn't even going to be on a wage if he stayed at my squad. So it's a shame I didn't recognise he was there, and I really should have looked. So I'm going to try and avoid that mistake in the future, because that's a big clanger on my part. And the last two guys to go, Matthew Noble, a centre back who played major roles in winning our first major title at the side, and our first title at the side actually, and another title later on in the year. But he just found himself falling out of the first team. I had better, Hugh Griffiths has come in, and also his brother. I decided he was a little bit better than him, so Matthew Noble has ended up being released. And Joe Jacobson, player we just signed this year, complained about the lack of first team football and the same thing. Decided I would release him just so I wouldn't, get an unhappy player at the side. So those were the transfers in and out in our sixth season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 year, in our sixth year here. So where does that put us in the league? In terms of first team, only one guy was really going to affect it, and that's Farrer, and he's not exactly been here too long. So in the league table, that puts us in second place. We find ourselves 2 points off the title, which is strange because it's the first time in, I think, 3 years that we've not been top come the midway stage of the season. So very tense. It's going to be very tense come the end. That's for sure. It's going to be a close and very, very close title race. And I don't mind that. I enjoy tight title races as long as we ended up winning them. That's the main thing. We have to end up getting Champions League football this year. So we find ourselves drawing one more game and winning one less than TNS. Apart from that, we're the same in terms of results. Goals for, we've scored 38, which is the third highest in the league, which means we're not exactly doing great going forward. I am playing youngster Wyn James up front alongside David Hislop. Don't know if that's making a difference, because I find James is still scoring a decent amount of goals and getting a decent amount of assists. But I don't really mind. We're scoring enough to win games. And goals against, we have the best defence in the league, as per usual now. So the only real reason we were second is because we've drawn an extra game. And we lost to TNS. TNS is the only team that we've lost against. So, I mean, I don't really mind that. We're only 2 points off. We're only a game away. I mean, if they draw a game, we win a game, we're drawn top. If they lose a game, we win a game, we're top. And we've still got to play them 3 more times, I should say, in the league this season. So, things aren't over yet. It's only halfway there. You can't panic yet. I'm not panicking yet. I still think we're going to be favourites to win this title. So, fixtures. You know about the, good times in the Champions League we had in these first 3 games, and then before losing and being eliminated by Lech. But to start off the Premier League season, we beat Bangor City 1-0 with James scoring the only goal of the game very late on, earning us a hard-fought victory. After that, we drew 3-3 with Airbus. Now, this was a very weird game. I mean, from a defensive point of view, I'm disappointed that we conceded 3 goals. From going forward, we took the lead very early on. We got a 2-0 lead after 30 minutes. That should have been game over, and in the end they fought back, and we should have scored another goal. I mean, we had opportunities to, we just didn't take them. And in the end, a 90th minute goal from Fraser ended up saving us a point, saving us an embarrassing defeat very early on in the season. So this is a poor game from the defensive point of view, and I expected a lot better. And I was actually playing Charlie Hughes in this game, so I wasn't playing McGuinness, who was our normal right back. I was trying to give him a go, and I decided, I'd rather put McGuinness back in there now. I know what McGuinness can do. Charlie Hughes is maybe a little bit too inexperienced, so that was a shaky start there. But after that, we beat Preston 2-0 in a very comfortable victory with an own goal contributing to the scoring. We beat Keffendroods 4-0 with 4 different goal scorers, and also beat Porthmadog 4-1 with, again, 4 different goal scorers, but this time an own goal contributing as well. Following that, we beat Affinledo 3-0 and Bala 2-0 before beating Haverfordwest in the Premier League Cup 3-1 with a double from James and a single from Eddie Hislop, who came on as a sub. Following that, we played Monmouth for the first time in our history, I believe. Did we play them last season? We didn't, did we? No, they were a newly promoted team. Sorry, the seasons sort of merged into one for me. Before we meet them 2-0. And Luke Edge and David Hislop getting on the score sheet. Before came our first and only defeat of the season so far. It was a 2-1 defeat against TNS, and this was a difficult game. I mean, they took the lead very early on, after 3 minutes, but then Luke Edge got us one back before Sean McDonald gave them the lead yet again, and from that point on, the game was over from really the 30th minute. I mean, TNS couldn't get that goal that would really, rule the game off. That, being 2 goals ahead would pretty much, I reckon, cement their win, confirm their win. And with the fact that they couldn't get that, that third goal and that 2-goal lead meant that we were always in with a shot of getting a draw, and we just couldn't find it. And I knew I couldn't go attacking because otherwise they'd absolutely destroy us, because, the way the amount of shots and the amount of shots on target they were having meant that if I went attacking, they were going to find a lot of holes in the defence and they were going to get another goal. So I had to keep things counter, keep things tight, trying to find that goal, and in the end it just didn't come. So sadly we lost. Not much I could really do about it though. Like I said, the better team won on the day. They had a lot more shots on target, and it looked a lot more troubling going forward. So a result that TNS deserved. But we went back to winning ways, returning to cup football and beating Monmouth 2-0, with David Hislop and Nigel Hamilton-Davis getting on the score sheet. We beat Ryle 3-1, returning to the league and getting back to winning ways there, with David Hislop, Hugh Griffiths and Ibrahim Farah getting on his first ever goal for the club, earning after a 3-1 victory. And then we had a very tight match against Port Talbot, beating them 3-2 with a David Hislop double and a Ryan Davis getting a goal as well. In our first game in the Welsh Cup, we beat Waterloo Rovers 4-0, with James getting a hat-trick. I think his first hat-trick of his career actually as well, which is nice to see, which is a good achievement. We then beat West End in the Premier League Cup semi-final 2-1, with Hugh Griffiths getting the deciding goal on the day and pulling us through to the Welsh Cup final against TNS. So we faced TNS in the Welsh Cup, the Premier League Cup final for the, I think, 4th season in a row, and hopefully we'll be looking for our first win in that competition for, what was that, 5 years, I believe. 5 years since we last won in that cup. Following that, we drew another game against Bangor City. This was a disappointing result yet again. I mean, we had enough possession on the day and had enough quality on the day to find ourselves beating Bangor City, but I don't know, we just, again, couldn't find that decisive goal. And in fact, they got their only shot on target, went in the back of the net, and earned them a point. So maybe going forward we're just not strong as we used to be, because on another day, or maybe on in the past few years, we would have absolutely destroyed them once we got the first, or scored a lot earlier on. I don't know, it's just weird that we couldn't beat them there. Then in between that and our Kefin Druids match, we beat Airbus and Preston on the bounce before drawing it again to Kefin Druids 0-0. And Kefin Druids are a real bogey team for us. We really struggled to find the back of the net against them. I mean, if we go on our past meetings with them, if I can still do that, no I can't, we'll have to just look through. We beat them 4-0 away from home, so that was a odd example there. They're not in the top split. In fact, they're not even in this division. There they are. Beat them 3-1 there away from home. When did we face them at home? They're at home 4-2. I don't know. I find that on times, whenever I see Kefin Druids, I always find out myself, doubting whether we're going to win this game. And in fact, I was throwing everything at them for the last 30 minutes because I could just see that we weren't going to score on the day, and in the end, we didn't, and they managed to get a draw, surprisingly. And then the last 2 games of this update be Athenlido 1-0 and Porthmadog 3-2. So, few disappointing draws there. Actually, all 3 of them are disappointing draws, and draws that on another day we should have won, and a defeat that we know we deserve. So, not many games left in split, only 5 as always. We've got Bala in the Welsh Cup 4th round and TNS in the Premier League Cup final again. Aiming for, a treble is still a possibility, and still is, we still got a chance of doing that. But we have to play well from this point on now, and we have to, be getting, a result and going on a long run, and hope, I say realistically, we have to beat TNS 2 more times, or at least 2 times, I should say, in this season, to secure us that Premier League title. Which means hopefully beating them before the split, so beating them in this upcoming game at home, and then beating them one more time in the split, and then maybe getting a draw against them, and that should be enough, because I feel other teams in the league won't really possess too much trouble against us. We may draw the occasional game, but that won't be too much damage, because I feel TNS will draw the occasional game as well. It's just we have to beat TNS when we play them one-on-one. So, what should we do now? I reckon we'll go into some awards and then we'll wrap this episode up. So Player of the Month we picked it up twice as a club. Nigel Hamilton-Davis and Luke Edge getting it in September and October. In November we didn't get anywhere in that, and in August we didn't get any players in that. Manager of the Month we've picked it up once in November, and I believe we came second in another month. Yeah, we did. We came second in September. Team of the Month, the recent month you see, well, this is pretty standard for us. So Team of the Month is our back 4, that we play, our two wingers, Luke Edge and Ryden Davis, and Viv Gunter. And for a normal team of the month for this league now is the same back four, which is always our back four, our two wingers, which is always Luke Edge and Ryden Davis, and our goalkeeper. So this month is a little bit different. We have Viv Gunter in there, not our goalkeeper, but the standard basically team of the month for this division is the same players in these positions. And it's always our players. So yeah, it shows how good our players are, that the fact that our defence is always in team of the month and how tight our defence is. Actually, what I'll do is quickly is I'll go into some team stats as well. So, actually not team stats, player stats, sorry. So, top goal scorers, we're nowhere near that, which I think indicates, how poor our strike force has been in comparison to previous years. Luke Edge has picked up player of the match the most time in the division. He's also up there in terms of average rating. Assist, Ryden Davis is up there in second, not doing his normal dominant self as he's been for the past few years, and distance covered as Luke Edge. Now, Luke Edge has been absolutely incredible this year. I mean, for the past few years, it's been him and Stephen Price battling, and I decided I wanted to do Stephen Price ahead of him. But, once I saw Luke Edge, he looked very decent, and once I realized, and then I knew Stephen Price was unambitious, and at the start of, I don't know what year it was, not the start, sorry, midway through, I think last year, I decided I'd give Luke Edge his run in the team, and it's really paid off. And look at that, if you find his weak area in the game, it's team player. What's his strongest area is speed, strongest aspect is pace, and pace means a lot on the wings, because at this level there aren't many fast fullbacks, and so he finds himself in very good positions a lot of the time. And despite his poor crossing stats, he does get the ball in decent areas a lot of the time. So Luke Edge looking very hot there. And in fact, I think he's tipped to win Young Player in Wales awards. How would I do this? Welsh Cup. Wait, what? He played for Bala? Oh, he went on loan there and won a cup. I didn't realise that. Sorry, I wonder if I can quickly just see who's nominated for the awards for Welsh Young Player of the Year, because I think he's a hot tip to win that, which would be a nice thing to see if he could try and win that, because for how well he's been doing since entering this first team. Look at that average match rating. No one else in our team can beat that. I mean, he's on fire this year, really is. I know you're 19 years of age as well. Things are looking good for the future on the right side of the pitch. So I'm going to end it here, guys. I'm pretty much rabbled on enough, I believe. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give it a like. The next part, I believe, should be up tomorrow, which will be the end of the season update, because I really want to get into the Champions League game, because I believe you guys enjoy the Champions League game a lot more than these, halfway point updates. So if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give it a like. And until next time, guys, peace out.